NewsNation political contributor Dr. Lauren Wright and the former battleground director for the Harris-Walz campaign, Dan Kanninen, are here with me right now. Thank you both for being with us. Dr. Wright, first, President Trump, arguably, he's delivered for Americans who voted for his policies on immigration and repealing wasteful government programs. In terms of his tone and speaking to what has successfully occurred over the past 43 days or so, do you think this will be a history-making address?
I do, because he typically gets a ton of viewers. Actually, over 10 million more viewers tuned into Trump's first speech like this when he was elected in 2017 compared to Biden's after he was elected in 2021. And I think that's just because Trump speaks plainly and off the cuff, and I might not like his style. I might not prefer a lot of the ways that he goes about communicating his message and implementing his policies. But Americans elected this very controversial person who said he would do exactly the things that he's doing. And so I'm very sensitive to the fact that even though I have my doubts about his style, most people probably don't care as much about that and don't pay super close attention, but they do tune in to see what he's going to do next.
Dan, is Senator Slotkin, she's been tapped to deliver this response, but she even acknowledges that many Michiganders in her state voted for her and President Trump on the same ballot. Does her selection from the party signal a shift towards the center?
Well, I think Alyssa Slotkin's an excellent young leader in the party. She also understands international affairs quite well. And with the Ukraine-Russia conflict at the moment, that's a very big topic, I think, to touch on after the Trump speech. But I'll just say, I don't think that Donald Trump has delivered on cutting costs for Americans. He certainly hasn't delivered on inflation. More than 60% of Americans think he's not focused enough on that, and that's their number one issue. I really want to see if Donald Trump will address inflation. He barely mentioned it in the inaugural, and then how Senator Slotkin can make the case, against what both Trump has failed to deliver on in terms of middle-class Americans, but more importantly, I think, an agenda from Democrats to address those concerns.
Let me just, I have to, this has been a very big talking point from a Democratic strategist, but Lauren, I'd have to say, based on your knowledge of history, within 40 days of someone being elected, has there been a historic expectation that prices are dropped within a month of someone being in the White House?
Well, he did campaign on it. I mean, I'm sympathetic to Dan's message in that regard. Trump made the economy the #1 issue of the election, along with immigration. He very quickly delivered on immigration, and the economic shifts take longer because, frankly, we attribute a lot of credit and blame to presidents when they can't always make those immediate changes. So my guess would be he's probably not going to talk about the price of eggs in his speech, even though a lot of people are concerned about that. But yes, I mean, all presidents, Democrat, Republican, they do take longer to make most of the economic policies come to fruition than we sometimes want. I think that's fair, Adrienne.
Well, I think that's true of all of us. So you don't always get what you want as soon as you want it, but you might get it at some point. And just as a follow-up, Dr. Wright, the first cabinet meeting of this administration just happened this week, and Elon Musk was given the mic again, saying that without Doge cuts, America will go bankrupt. You have Linda McMahon set to be confirmed tomorrow, and the president says that what success looks like for her will be putting herself out of a job. So is sending education back to the states feasible?
Well, public opinion indicates Americans are in favor of sending more power over education back to parents, back to localities, and back to the states. This is just one of those things. I happen to think Elon Musk is a very advantageous foil for some Republicans who might have their own ideas about how to slash budgets and make changes within their own agencies. But guess what? If it doesn't go very well, they can blame him. And that's very, very useful politically to all of these agency heads who are anti-government spending and might very well think they have better ideas about how to make their agencies more efficient than Elon Musk does. But because he's there and because he's divisive, that's part of his usefulness.
Thanks so much for watching. Go to joinnn.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.